What's up, everybody? It's your boy Z Money coming at you with a last-second Zachetology. That daily sim schedule, that double daily sim schedule, really sneaks up on you. So, I'm getting it in. I don't want the streak to be broken. I'm trying to be a good boy, keep up with these uploads. But things are moving quickly, so there's not a lot of time. Anyways, like our abbreviated season of crackheadedness, this will also be a quick Zachetology because, frankly, I barely even know what's happening in the league this season. It's been a little busy. But even without any knowledge, my predictions are still better than probably 29 of you. So listen to my wisdom. All right, quick conference breakdown. Not conference, just like season recap. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't pay a lot of attention. What I do know is the league is very soft right now. Obviously, the Nets are dominant, but like when I say soft, like losing teams got sent to the playoffs in both conferences. Maybe that happens more than I recall. 3 losing teams in the freaking West. And like, are the Blazers honestly probably shouldn't be a winning team, and they're a 4 seed, and they're only a winning team because everyone else in their division is tanking. It's honestly pretty wild. So yeah, like we're very much in a transition period where like there are some in between players between eras that are good, but most teams are either like fully on the way out now and waiting on their young guys, or are full of like these shit players from the current era, which is why like I think we see the league as is. Anyways, so yeah, the recap of all that, I guess, is to say like the Nets are going to win. That's kind of like the season recap. All right, now let's get to the matchups. All right, we have the Mavericks versus the Lakers, the 1-8 seed. The Mavericks are good, and I will talk about them, but I won't talk about them today because they're going to smoke the Lakers, who won 33 games. So Zach, congrats on making the playoffs again. But this will not be your first playoff victory series, unfortunately. All right, next we have the Trailblazers and the Clippers. Interesting. So the Trailblazers and the Clippers is a flipped 4-5 seed, but fun fact, this is actually the Trailblazers lost so many games that it's actually a flipped 4-6 it could be. So if the Sonics, I call them the Sonics, if I were to make it to the conference finals against Tim, I would have home court against him. Anyways, I found that fact fun. Thanks for listening. I don't really love this team. There are interesting players on it. In particular, one Antonino Epifanio, who's one of the more mysterious players to me. Whether he's going to pan out, is he any good? I don't know if he'll pan out, but he's fun to kind of like lust over. Now that Joe Sandberg's on my team, there's only one other Blazer that I lust over. But this team is pretty bad. There's a lot of guys who are like tolerable fill-ins, Tony Collins, Ciro Kofwango. But like, it's the jury is out on Kendrick Gomez, whether he'll ever be good. That's my email. If you're interested in doing some work for me, you can read my mail. Like Devon Santiago, I am not sold. I think he's the exact type of guy who's just efficient enough to look good in a pub stomp situation, but will never deliver in the playoffs. And then Antonino has not been unlocked yet. The Clippers, on the other hand, are a pretty solid all-around team. They just lack depth. They're starting 5. I like 4 of the players, maybe 3. I don't like Nolan Price very much. I don't think I like Jamie Jones very much. I was always a Jamie Jones hater. I felt like he just kept getting lucky with his stats, and I feel like finally it's catching up to him. I don't know if he's getting old yet. Let's see. Is Jamie Jones old? No, he's only 30, so like I think his stats haven't really dropped off yet, but he's just finally regressing to the mean. He didn't have a great season this season. But anyways, back to the Clippers. So they have a good starting lineup. I like Roman. I like Angel Moore. I like both the Romans. That's what confused me. Chance Roman and Roman Balakeliev. So against a team like Tim's that doesn't even have the quality to match up with him, like I just don't see how the Clippers blow this. Like Angel Moore matches up really great against Devon Santiago. He's bigger. He's more athletic. Like that's the only hope that Tim had to begin with. The one interesting thing that would be Tim's prayer is that Antonino Epifanio, who's shown that he can go inside at times, maybe goes ham on the smaller, less athletic Jamie Jones. But like, I honestly don't really expect that to happen. So I'm feeling a pretty confident win for the Clippers. The talent differential isn't like a Mavs-Lakers thing, so I will give this 6, but I feel pretty strongly about this. All right, next we got the Warriors-Sonics. This is one of my 2 series this round that I'm excited for. The Warriors, this is the same Warriors squad they've been running the whole time. They just added that new big man, D'Angelo Wilson, and some other. No, they didn't even add anybody else. There's a dude coming in the offseason for Seth Lee. But the Warriors, the offense, it's Diesel Buckner, and then a prayer for whether or not Seth Lee can score it all, and then the rest of it is pretty solid defense. Like Tom McDonald, D'Angelo Wilson, all those guards, Takashi Tezuka, Seth Lee. There's one other tall guard, Lejuda Tamer. Lejuda Tamer's a steals guy, but anyways, it's kind of like the Warriors' way to go. I don't know. They're a fine team. In terms of their matchup, so the Sonics are a very intriguing team because, I don't know. The Sonics are a 3-point meme shooting team. Although the percentages ended up lower than I kind of expected. If you look at the guys who take the threes for the Sonics, Joe Sandberg, Soluciano, and Hihiman, they're all 45% three ball guys, and at various points they can chuck. Sandberg is kind of at his peak chucking right now. Hihiman, not so much. Soluciano last season, he hasn't aged out, but obviously the big thing about the three ball is it's extremely high variance. So the Sonics showed that variance in the sense that they had ended with a better margin on the season than the Warriors and the Clippers, but they won 5 fewer games than them. So I don't know. You don't want to be the Sonics. I don't love my position. Well, it's been a detached season for me, so I'm less invested, which is good for this team. But you also don't want to have to be the overdog playing the Sonics because it's more of a coin flip than anything. The Sonics want to stop Diesel Buckner. They have Ted Lasso and Seth Charles as their power forward options, and Broderick Lewis. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, so this is not me hiding the truth as much as I just haven't uploaded. They all do okay. It's not a perfect lockdown. You like Steven Anderson in the center spot, but how much is that going to affect Diesel Buckner? Who knows? Against Seth Lee, it's you can go. The Sonics have the ability to go really strong defense. They can bring out Sierski. You can play Joe Sandberg. He's a good defender. Broderick Lewis is a great defender as well, and he's been playing point guard all season. But it's almost is it even worth it? Seth Lee can barely score with nobody guarding him, it seems like. So I think this will be an interesting series. But as we know from what happened with the Rockets series last time, it's a meme. We're just going to get some RNG shit. This is the series that's most likely to go 4-0 or 0-4 while being, in my opinion, a pretty even match. If you look at the stats, these teams are a dead match. The Sonics, I think, were ranked 10th in both offense and defense, and the Warriors were 9th in offense and 11th in defense or some shit like that. So I'm calling this a 7 in favor of the Warriors because I feel like I get shit playoff luck, and I'm a little salty about it. So this gives me an opportunity to grandstand about why I think I'm going to lose because the game always fucks me. But also just because these two teams are perfectly matched, and the Warriors have home court. So Warriors in 7, excited. There could be some wild stat lines coming from the Sonics. I can see 43s taken and 70% of them made in a game, which would just be bananas, and I'm here for it. Or I could get swept and never make my threes. Okay, we have the Rockets versus the Timberwolves, so the Rockets will be winning this one 4-0. The Timberwolves might have been able to make things more interesting if they didn't have Todd Burnside break his leg, but Todd Burnside did break his leg, so there's nothing to talk about here. We'll talk more about the Rockets at another time, but I'm trying to keep this quick because I'm already at 8 minutes. Oh, okay, yeah, let's wrap this up. All right, Bucks, Cavs. The Bucks are going to absolutely smoke the Cavs. Yeah, it feels like we always see Noel choke a little bit in the playoffs, but the Cavs just don't have the sauce to do it anymore. I'll give them a game, but the Bucks look like the clear second best team because I hate the Wizards, and we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, who do the Cavs have? They have Samuel Butts scoring 22 points a game. That's the only thing. And they have Efren Strong, which is fine, but Efren Strong isn't going to stop Francois Santoro. So, yeah, I really like the Bucks here. Not a shock. All right, Wiz Hawks. This is a series I think will be very exciting because obviously I'm the number one Wiz hater, so I'm here to continue that train. And I think the Hawks underperformed given their talent level. From the Wiz side, the only question is, has Timmy Hamilton climbed the mountain? Is he finally going to be good in the playoffs? He's a little bit more efficient. Maybe he got his ratings just a little higher. The rating that's always been climbing for him is the 3-point thing, and he's had a 45% three-point shooting stroke this season. So the question is whether that's real or not. We'll see. Now the Hawks, the whole thing is like, can you make Timmy Hamilton into an inefficient chucker? I'm kind of on the fence. So the Hawks have Jason Jackson and Joseph Valdez, who are big, good at defense guards. And so I'm hoping Kyle will play those two. And then, like, with those two, you're not going to score any efficient points with them, but hopefully you can slow them down. So then the question for scoring points with Kyle is with the front court. It's can Gustavo Estes and Marty Taylor score points on the inside? Gustavo Estes has been fine at scoring points all season, although he doesn't score very many. But Marty Taylor is the big interesting one. Marty Taylor, a lot higher usage, but not efficient. I have a suspicion that Marty Taylor needs to be played at center. Make him take fewer jump shots. Make him go inside more. Get him on the foul line more. He's a reasonably good foul. He's like a plus free throw shooter. So if I was Kyle against this inept Wizards front court, I would be putting Marty Taylor at center. I think that could be the X factor that tilts things in his favor. Also, if I'm the Hawks, 10 pace, run the team off the court. The Wizards have an injury, if I'm not mistaken, to Arlie Carey. They do. So, like, they have no backup guards. So, like, we're going to see heavy minutes from the Wiz. So, I'm going to call this one 7. And I'm going to go against the Wiz. I might look bad for this, but, like, me and the Wiz hate. Like, come on. I can't. I'm committed to the bit now. This is, like, the 4th straight season. Brian's just got to tear it down and start over again. So, Wiz and Hawks in 7, which would be nuts because the Hawks had a plus minus of, like, 1. Barely made the playoffs. Okay, they didn't barely make the playoffs. They only made the playoffs because there was nobody else trying. It's more what I'm trying to say. So it would be wild if they won this. All right, Hornets Celtics, the quote-unquote ghost ship versus the newly minted, super hyped front court of Claudio and Granny. It's all about the front court here. I hate the Hornets front court, back court. It's just dying of old age. While the Celtics back court is like not one I love either. But like, you know, Renee Snyder will drop meme bombs on you to some extent. So, okay, back to the front court. Like, it's all about whether you can stop Granny. And the question is, can Evan Mobley and Vogler stop Granny? I don't know. I don't hate that Mobley matchup. Look, Mobley's ratings are not what they were, but he's still 7-1. He has C+ quickness, and he doesn't really foul. And he's still like a B-level defender and stuff. On the whole, I think they'll come up a little bit short. Like, Vogler is not cooked, but Vogler is a little more foul-y. And, like, really, it's the power forward matchup. Vogler's too slow to be put at power forward, in my opinion. I think you got to play Vogler at center, and you play Mobley at power forward. And I think Granny will get the best of him. I don't think he's going to look dominant, but I think he gets the best of him. And then the other thing about Vogler, which sucks, is just like, I know he shoots it less than he used to. He's down to only 13 points per game, but he's playing way fewer minutes. But he's just become such a jump shooting, inefficient guy that it sucks that he's going to get matched up against I'm losing my brain, against Claudio, who's like an elite defender, because I just don't think those percents will look good. So all in all, I do think the Celtics will pull this off. There's a higher level point. I'm going to pick the Celtics in 6, that I don't love this Granny Claudio front court. I think Claudio's secretly a power forward, and I think Granny's secretly a power forward, and they're a little small. Like, I know Granny's 7 feet, I think. He's 7'1". Maybe Gasper flips it and puts Granny at center. But we'll see. So hopefully he can surprise me. Well, I guess I wouldn't be surprised, but hopefully they can go deep into the playoffs. All right, and then finally, we have the Nets beating the Knicks 4-0. Congrats, Ollie, on making the playoffs. I can't say you deserved to, but you did. Well done. So those are my predictions, and we'll talk more about the Nets in a later series because they look really good. So that's what you got for round 1. Yeah, a quick little Zachetology for a quick little season. I hope the rounds are exciting. I hope we get at least a couple Game 7 saucies. But we'll see. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. And until then, toodles.